The eyes that went blind. The prophet Jacob was very sad to lose Benjamin after Joseph. This upset him very much and he wept for months. In the end, his eyes went blind. His sons, on seeing him like this, said, "Dear father, you still weep for Joseph. Don't waste yourself away. We are scared that you will end up dying of this sorrow and we will be left fatherless." The sons saw their father's situation as a sign of complaint and impatience. It was not fit for a prophet to act in that way, they thought. They were reproaching him for that reason. The prophet Jacob's sorrow and sadness was not because of complaint and impatience. He explained the situation in this way. "Dear children, you get me all wrong. I am not complaining about you or anyone else. I am only showing my situation to Allah in this way. I am informing Him of my sorrow and my problems. I believe that Allah will save me from this pain and sadness. I would never even think about complaining to Allah about helpless people like you." The prophet Jacob's words show that there is no harm to tell about the sorrows and troubles you face to Allah. What is improper is to express these in a dramatic way to make people feel sorry for you and, in a way, complain about Allah. After the prophet Jacob explained to his children his sadness, he then said, "Dear children, I know what none of you can know by the revelations of Allah. You should go to Egypt and look for Joseph and Benjamin once more. Don't ever lose hope, because only those who don't believe in Allah lose hope." The prophet Jacob's sons went to Egypt once more upon their father's order and visited the prophet Joseph. Joseph saw that they were very sorry and felt guilty about what they had done. It was apparent that Benjamin, being left there, had worried and saddened them a lot. The brothers explained their situation to the prophet Joseph like this: "Dear Aziz, we are in a very bad situation. After suffering money and food shortage worries, leaving Benjamin behind has made our father fall very weak. He has turned blind because of it. We have brought 2 worthless things with us to buy food. Help us by taking these and helping us as you did before. No good and help will go to waste in the presence of Allah. Allah rewards all good that is done." The prophet Joseph then realized it was the right time to introduce himself to his brothers. The problems they had suffered had taught them a good lesson. "Are you Joseph?" The prophet Joseph felt very emotional when he saw his brothers in such a sad situation, and said, with the intention of introducing himself, "Do you remember what you did to Joseph and his brother? Do you admit that you are guilty for what you did?" The brothers were surprised by this unexpected question, which like lightning struck in their memories. They began to remember some images in their minds: a child tied to the end of a rope, a well, handshakes for the sale of a child, and the child with a pureness in face that was sold. All of these things passed through their minds like a film. They felt ashamed and their faces turned bright red. They were also confused and surprised. What was the Aziz trying to say? They then started to look closely at his face and stared at him for a long time. It seemed they recognized him. They then asked, "Could you be Joseph?" "Yes, I am Joseph, and this is my brother Benjamin. Allah has offered us a gift and brought me to this glorious palace. Those who never do bad things and be patient will receive their reward from Allah." The brothers agreed and made this confession: "Dear Joseph, Allah has made you superior to us. We made a great mistake, but you should know that we are very sorry and feel very guilty. Please don't punish us for what we have done." The kind prophet Joseph then replied to his brothers by saying, "Do not be afraid. Today and from now on, I will not do you the slightest harm. I am not going to blame you for what you did. Pray to Allah and beg. I hope that He forgives you." With these words, the prophet Joseph had announced that he had forgiven his brothers, and now the pain and suffering of the past years had come to an end. After the forgiving had been made, Joseph and his brothers found happiness and peace. The prophet Joseph welcomed his brothers at the palace for a couple of days. Even though Joseph had forgiven his brothers, They felt ashamed for what they did when they remembered everything. They said to Joseph, "Dear brother, you host us day and night at your own table. However, we still feel very ashamed of what we did." The prophet Joseph felt very sorry to hear this and told them, "Even though I am the Aziz of Egypt, the people always look at me as the slave they first saw. They say to themselves, 'How could a slave reach such a position?' and feel surprised. I have reached a higher place in the eyes of the people because of you. They now know that I am no ordinary slave, but a member of the family of the prophet. For that I am grateful to you." Joseph's shirt. The prophet Joseph's brothers started preparing for the journey back home after staying some time in Egypt. They were going to give their father the good news about finding Joseph. While Joseph was sending them off on the journey, he took off his shirt and gave it to them. "Take this shirt and rub it over my father's eyes. He will then see again. Then get all of your families and our mother and father and come here. We will live here in Egypt in fruitfulness." Yehuda took Joseph's shirt and said, "I was the one who took the bloody shirt from the well and gave it to my father. For that reason, it is now my duty to give him the good news." The group of brothers left Egypt feeling very happy. They quickly headed for Philistine. Just as the brothers left the city, the prophet Jacob, who was in Philistine, suddenly perked up. He was smiling and breathing deeply while staring towards Egypt. The family members couldn't understand the reason for his actions. He started to explain to them the reason for his strange behaviour with excitement. "At this moment, I can smell Joseph's scent. Hopefully, and by Allah's will, I will be reunited with him. Do not think I'm going crazy, for you will see very soon that what I say is true." Allah had somehow made Joseph's scent reach the prophet Jacob in a miraculous way. The prophet Jacob's explanation had surprised the others. In fact, they felt a little annoyed. "You still think that you will be reunited with Joseph. You are not willing to accept the truth and carry on with this mistaken belief." However, soon after, they all saw who was wrong and who was right. After a couple of days, Yehuda arrived with the prophet Joseph's shirt and went to give it to his father. He told them the good news that Joseph was still alive. The prophet Jacob smelt the shirt for a long time and rubbed it all over his face. Then all of a sudden, by the will of Allah, his eyes opened and he began to see again. Soon after, the group came with a huge load of luggage. The prophet Jacob didn't get mad at his sons for what they had done and only said, "Didn't I tell you that I know what you don't know, and that I hope that Allah will let me see Joseph once again?" They told him he was right and felt very ashamed once more. They fell to their knees and started to beg their father to forgive them. "Dear father, we committed a very big crime, but now we are very sorry and feel guilty. Please pray to Allah for our forgiveness." The prophet Jacob gave them this reply, "I will pray to Allah for your forgiveness. Without a doubt, he is gracious and merciful and likes to forgive."